Hi everybody. It's Lisa Nguyen here, and welcome. Thank you for joining. This is SmartBean's second share and learn meeting, and I started this because I believe in the small business owners' intelligence and resilience. And as we're going through this difficult time, there isn't a lack of information out there, but it's hard to decipher which part of this information apply to us locally, the local small business. So I thought, no one person have all the answer, but I think collectively we can get together. So this session is not a presentation from me to you. It's more, I'm guiding us through, some of the questions that have given to me. More importantly, no one is going to be on mute. Ask question, jump in, give comment anytime you like. Because that's what makes this session valuable is for us by us doing so. So just let's get right into it. I am going to share. I put together a quick PowerPoint presentation just so that we can stay on track. So what I like to do really quickly is, of course, welcome all of you, but also today we have a special guest, Hala Debussy she is a certified business coach, and I have invited Hala to share with us some of the tips on, it's really a quick checklist to look at as you are looking at reopening your business, reopening the economy. What we'll cover today too is, first, we're going to look at the economic injury disaster loan, the EIDL, some of the questions we have from there, and then, of course, the Paycheck Protection Program, how to get it all forgiven, and some bookkeeping tips on keeping track of all the stimulus money. So, again, share and learn. Jump in, ask questions, share what you know, correct me. However, just jump in. Let's talk. Let's do this together. So what I like to go over first is, this is the data I get from the SBA website as of May 8th, which is the last report that they have on the advance. This is the grant that the SBA is giving out. We'll talk more a little bit about, what it's about, how do you have to pay back, how do you use it. We'll go over that. But right now, I just want to share with you that so far, there are almost $10 billion have been distributed for this program. And California seemed to be the state that gotten the most money. And then another statistic is, any questions? Okay, another statistic is the EIDL actual loans. We'll talk about that as well, but as of right now, it's about, this report is actually as of last Friday. The total dollars approved is almost $38 billion. So we can talk about whether or not you've gotten the money, you worry about accepting it or not, or if you've been denied and what to do. So we will share all that. Okay, so let's first talk about the economic injury disaster loans, the EIDL. Just a little bit here. Okay, so I put this up here because I have received questions from clients. They're quite confused about the difference between the advance and the loan. So the advance, the EIDL advance or a grant is basically they're giving $1,000 per employee. You apply for this by really simply putting a checkbox on the EIDL applications, where the EIDL is an actual loan. So consider it, when they make the offer, make sure you read through the term, because it is a loan and you do need to pay it back. As an advance, you do not need to pay it back because it's a grant. Also, for the grant, you're not required to apply for forgiveness because, again, it's a grant, so it's given to you. And then you can treat it as a non-taxable grant. So that's what you will put on your books, and at the time of filing taxes, your CPA would know how to treat that income. As for the EIDL, you can use it for fixed debt, account payable, payroll, but the interest on the loan is deductible. Okay, and this is the loan that is 30 years at 3.75%. Is a really good loan if you need the money. Another nice thing about this is that you don't have to start making payment until a year from the date that you are funded. So that's a really, really great deal. And I have clients that ask question about this. They say, if I have money in the bank and I don't really need this loan right now, should I take the loan? And I actually would like to hear from some of your feedback on this. Does anybody would like to share your thought on this question?
My only fear was, if I accept the loan, what are the conditions? It's easy to look at, money and go, oh, great, I'll take it. And then what am I giving up in return for that? So that was my main concern. Of course, I talked to you, Lisa. I talked to my CPA. I talked to some other business owners. And they were all unanimous in saying it's the cheapest money you'll ever get. And you're not giving up any interest in your company. There are some conditions, but they're minimal. And whether or not you need the money, you should consider taking it, but it's obviously not required.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that, John. One thing that we want to think about too is the PPP loan and the EIDL. They don't have prepayment penalties. So let's say if you take the loan because you don't know what your business is going to look like in the next 12 months, and then you decided, hey, I'm doing great, I don't need this loan, you can pay the amount back. There's no prepayment penalties, which is great. And they defer all the payment 12 months from now. So it's a good deal. One thing to consider too is, you might not need the money right now, but can you predict how your business will be performing in the next 12 months or so, right? So that's, I always would tell people, don't take the money if you don't need it, but also anticipate your need as well. We're going into an economy that is probably very slow growing back. So that's something you want to consider. So is there anybody have any questions regarding?
Yeah, I would just like to add on to that by, when you don't need it is when you can get it. Mm-hmm. When you need it, it's typically when you can't get it. And I don't know if anybody remembers when the home equity lines of credit were shut down. They were, maybe people had $100,000 of open credit line on their properties and none had been used. They shut them down and wouldn't allow them to be used. So for people that might have gone through a loss or might not be having a job or might not know how other people not having a job might affect their business, like you say, the interest is never going to be cheaper.
Exactly.
That's just my thought.
I agree 100%. In terms of what it's being used for, the EIDL has a broader use of the capital. It's basically helping you with your operating expense, right? Operating of the business. One thing that I noticed is it's actually allow you to pay like fixed debt, payroll, account payable. Those are all things, you don't have to use it all for payroll. The amount that you actually have used for payroll can be rolled into the PPP. So another question I have in this is that some people who's here have been denied on the EIDL. Kathy?
Yes.
You did, okay. And what was, did they send you a letter? What was their reasoning?
Because I did not have payroll, because I was an independent contractor without payroll.
For the EIDL?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because so we might want to maybe one off, we can talk about that, but EIDL, they based it on your revenue and cost of goods sold.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. It was the PPL. Sorry.
The PPP.
PPP.
Okay, so we can talk about
there was an acronym there somewhere.
And actually, you should reapply for it as well. So we'll talk about the PPP now.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, but for the EIDL though, we have had people getting denying letters that ranging from they couldn't verify your information or they say that you didn't substantiate your need, that the economic impact. And the reason for this is that they look at they're asking for your revenue and cost of goods sold from the 12 months prior to the disaster. So they count the disaster date as January 31st, 2020. So prior to the 12 months prior, if you are brand new in your business and you didn't have any revenue at that time, they don't see that as you having an economic problem with this, because you never had money to be, you didn't have a business to begin with. Dawn, could you share with us about your situations?
Yes, hi, of course. So I received the email saying that I was approved for up to $29,000. And as I applied for it, then I received an email saying as I applied for it, they have 3 sections. One, multiple choice, what county is this? Second, multiple choice, what city is this street in? And the third, do you recognize these 2 people's names? And I did not recognize the name, so I put none of the above. Within a day, I received an email saying that I was awarded $0 and declined. And then I would get an email letter stating why. Well, I didn't wait for the email letter. I immediately called the number below, and which was on a Sunday. I just said, I'm going to try and see if they're open. And somebody answered. He said that, true, they could not verify my identity, and then it said I was deceased.
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, I told them, listen, I just had a birthday and turned 60, but by no means, right, am I dead. I also explained to him that I did receive the grant, EIDL grant, and he went a little bit further and really helped me and suggested that once I received the letter, to send an email stating that certain information. One, it had to say that I wanted to be reconsidered, and 2, to explain a little bit about my business, and show also say that I received the EIDL grant showing that I was not deceased. So that was on Sunday. On Monday, I received the letter via email, and all it said was, we couldn't verify identification, but it didn't say why specifically. So I then, Monday on Memorial Day, called again, and somebody answered. And this gal was great. I didn't say anything. I asked her what it said. She said, oh, we're showing you're deceased. And she went as far and found the person who the agent assigned to my loan application, and sent an email to that gal asking for a phone call to me. And then this morning I woke up to an email saying that I've been approved.
So that's happy ending, right? So I think, thank you, Dawn, for sharing that. I think what we want to take from this is, if you get denied, give them a call, okay? Get some advice from them. There's also local, I will share after this meeting, I'll email you, is there are local organization, nonprofit, that can help you reapply. And they know what information to put in there. But I encourage you, I mean, Dawn call over the holiday weekends, and they answer the phone. So, you know, they really are trying to help here. So just, you know, if you get denied and you feel that you have more questions, they're the best people to talk to. Just call the SBA, keep calling. That would be my suggestions.
So Lisa, can I say one more thing?
Sure.
I had a friend who received a minimal amount of funding, and before she applied, she actually called and asked for an increase. So I just want to say that as well. She only received like something like $3,000 or something like that, which was pre-approved. So I just wanted to share that as well. If you get an amount, 20,000, that you don't really, you know, you want more, or see if you can qualify for more.
There you go. Perfect. Thank you.
Lisa.
Yes.
Cassandra here. I applied to my bank, Bank of America, for the PPP. And obviously it was very confusing to fill it because I'm a solo proprietor, I don't pay myself. So to figure out the amount that I was going to be asked for, it was a little bit hard for me. And finally I calculate something, I can't remember how I did it, but I did it. And I didn't hear anything until I started getting a bunch of emails saying that I needed more documentation. I sent it, and then I started receiving many phone calls, supposedly from the Bank of America, telling me that I had to sign the promissory note. That has been approved, and I need to sign the promissory note. I went there, and it was only for 6,000 and something. And I was like, okay, I mean, that's okay. Whatever that they want to give me, that's okay. And I signed that, and then I continue getting more emails and phone calls. And when I went again, supposedly I submit, and it says that it was successful submit, but I never get an following email. So supposedly it didn't went through. So when I'm going to do it again, now it says 16,000 and something dollars, that is the promissory note.
Okay.
So the first amount, 6,000, is one that it was, I think, my payroll or something. And then the 16,000, you know that you do the formula, your payroll times 2.5 plus $10,000 of I don't know what. That was the thing, $16,000 supposedly. And I signed that also. I sent, I submitted. It was successful submit, but again, I haven't heard anything from there. So
And this is through Bank of America?
Yes, it's Bank of America.
So
And I see a lot of people that they're telling me that through the bank, it takes forever and it's very confusing. They don't help you because if I'm going to Bank of America, nobody knows anything there. I need to go through the special agents that they have only by phone.
Okay, so Cassandra, may I help with this? Is I actually have Bank of America, and I have quite a few clients with that. Once you sign the promissory note, they fund it within a day or two. So if
I haven't had any found it. So
let's if we can maybe we can schedule a call, you and I can look at exactly
okay.
the time and help you with that. But at this point, I believe that the majority of my clients and people I talk to locally have received funding with the Paycheck Protection Program. The loan amount is all over the place, how they calculate that, right? The smaller banks, sometimes I wonder where they come up with the amount. But at this point, what I would like to address today is if you still have question about the process of applying for the loans and calculating for the loan amount, please reach out to me. What I like to discuss today with you guys are those that already received the money, and now what's on your mind is how to get 100% of this forgivable, right? So what I want to show you here is something that I kind of came up with that I thought would be easy to kind of handle, is that for the self-employed and the sole prop, you don't have a corporation, so you were not on payroll. You didn't have a payroll company to officially process your payroll, okay? For those people, the way that the government is intending to do is the 8 weeks worth of 2019 net profits will be automatically forgiven. So I know I've talked to some of you and you were concerned about how much to show that you pay yourself for those 8 weeks so that the amount can be forgivable. And I have suggested to you that you look at your 2019 Schedule C, line 31, and see what that number is, divide that by 12, and that would be the amount of your monthly payroll. And so that's the amount that you should pay yourself for the next 8 weeks. Now, whether you officially write a check to yourself or simply transfer money from the business account to your personal account, we at SmartBean, we record that as, owner distribution. Whether you do that or not, what I have gathered so far is that the government is not going to worry about you substantiate that payment. What all they care about is they're just gonna look at your 2019 net profit and then take 8 weeks worth of that net profit as to automatically forgiven to you. So if you have done the correct calculation when you apply for the PPP loan, those 8 weeks worth of net profit is already 80% of the PPP amount. Okay, so then the other 20% you can pay towards rent or utility or mortgage interest, and keep that easy, make that quite straightforward. For companies that is a corporation, you are required by law really to have payroll. So even if you're by yourself and you're paying yourself as the only employees, your payroll expense, your payroll record is what they look at. So the same thing. What counted for payroll expense would be your salary and wages, any type of payment basically, right? As an employee vacation pay, medical benefits, and I put on there also state unemployment insurance. So as an employer, that is for California, the rate is outrageous, right? When you start out at 3.4% of the wage, and then it can go up to, I've seen as high as 9-10% of the employee's wage, but only up to $7,000 of their first $7,000 that they make in a given year. So this is something one-off. I can look at it with you. Payroll company might be able to also run a report for you with this. But again, just pay yourself or pay your employees the same amount that you have claimed when you apply for the PPP for 2 months. That will cover 80% of the loan amount, and that's considered payroll expense. So then the rest of it, you put it on mortgage interest or rent, and 100% will be forgiven. Any question on this?
Yeah, I have a question.
Hi,
So I'm a sole proprietor and I also have payroll. And then my employee hours have been cut.
Mm-hmm.
But then once we got the PPP, then I gave all their hours back.
Mm-hmm.
But then some of them didn't want to come back because they were making really great money on unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm wondering, I feel like I'm sort of in between the self-employed and the corporation as far as how I get this forgiven.
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to submit for the payroll, like with my payroll, or would I just do the 8 weeks of net profit?
So when you applied for the PPP, what number did you?
I used my payroll, but I didn't use anything for me.
Okay.
Because I'm not on payroll because I'm a sole proprietor.
You cannot be on payroll. That's correct. So that, and which bank are you with?
It was through Chase.
Chase. Okay, so that's a little tough. Right now, I know that the government have produced the Paycheck Protection Program forgiveness applications, right? And
Okay.
each bank is going through, and they have, just like when we were applying for it, each bank kind of come up with their own process of required documents to do this. So the best place to go is really to check with your lender and see exactly what they're asking for you to give them. On the next slide, I'm going to talk about bookkeeping side of it, what you need to do so that you can give them the information easily. But the best way is to be to the lender.
So I was kind of curious about rent too, because I was wondering if I could, like the 2 months of rent does not equal 25%, like rent and utilities is not 25% of the PPP loan amount that I received, like it's more.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was wondering if I could prepay rent, like can I pay more rent so I can get ahead to be able to try to get that forgiven?
If the rent amount is more than 25% of the—
No, my rent is going to be less than 25%, so maybe it's like 25% might equal like maybe 3.5 months of my PPP amount, but only the first 2 months are going to be forgiven. So what I was wondering is could I like prepay? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I could give my landlord like 4 months rent and try to get that forgiven, or are they gonna, what kind of documentation am I gonna need?
Yes, so that's the thing is, again, the lender might ask for your lease agreement. And the whole point of this is they want to, the focus of the program is job protection, right? So that's why they put such a heavy weight on payroll. And then
Right.
everything else should be business as usual. You don't want to, like, that would be my take on it, is you don't want
Got it.
to red flag anything. But looking at the lender would be.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Any other questions on this? Yes, Cassandra? You're on mute, Cassandra.
Is now that Daniela mentioned the unemployment, I apply also for unemployment, and from them I'm getting letters that supposedly I need to apply every week or every other week, I can't remember. And today is the day when I should do it. But if I'm waiting on the PPP, can I also receive the unemployment, or how does this work?
You shouldn't. If you are getting money from the PPP, it would be you are as an employer, right, of the business. And then if you go and claim unemployment, then you're saying that you are an employee of the company. You kind of double dipping, and that's they could frown upon that.
Okay.
So you kind of decide. I actually have self-employed clients who has to make a choice between taking the PPP or staying on.
Oh, because I applied for the unemployment as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I've received some of it with my initial, but I haven't kind of submitted any additional paperwork for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting to see how they are going to audit all of this.
So maybe that worked. I mean, because I'm taking unemployment for myself, but I'm using the PPP for my payroll. I'm not trying, I never used any any wages for myself for the PPP.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's all
kind of hard to.
It's hard to know. That's why no one.
It's hard to know when there's no rules, right?
I have to hear feedback from clients for that reason. All right, so let's see. If we don't have any more questions here, I'd like to move on. I know we're running a little bit really close to our time here. Just really quick, I'm gonna run over bookkeeping tips. I know if you guys are SmartBean clients, you don't need to worry about this, but I just want you to be informed of what we're doing for you. If you're not a SmartBean client, take a picture of this. This is very helpful. Is that you want to record the PPP and EIDL loans as a loans on your books. Over the 8 weeks, complete bookkeeping on all financial transactions. You make sure you have the date, the amount, the payee, vendor information, categorize the expenses correctly, and store the receipt or official records such as payroll. Here's a tip. Add a consistent memo into that transaction, whether you put PPP or EIDL or grant into the memo box, so that when the time comes, you can do a global search on QuickBooks and you can get all your related transactions, and then you can look at them all. Because I've seen advice out there of people, even on QuickBooks, saying that you can track it by class or by projects. The problem with that is you need to upgrade to their, I think, Plus, QuickBooks Online Plus subscription in order to use class and projects. And so you don't want to do that just for 8 weeks and then complicated your payroll, but you're welcome to do that as well. I just thought that the way around that is just to use the memo section and then do search to get all the information that you need. Also, after the 8 weeks, either go on QuickBooks or contact us and say, hey, here are my 8 weeks. From the time that I get funded, 8 weeks from there, let's look at the total amount spent and then look at your forgivable categories, kind of do a self-audit, okay? And then, of course, you apply for the forgiveness through your lender. So, like I said, the forgiveness application has been released, and the lenders are working on them right now. They're sending, I've seen clients forwarded to me their email from their bank, from their lender, telling them exactly what they need to supply to them. The key, you guys, is if you have not filed your 2019 tax return, do it now. Do it immediately. You are going to need it. Now, once the amount of the forgiveness has been confirmed, so let's say you applied for it, they came back and said, oh, 100% forgiven. Excellent. Now you go into your book and then you adjust the loan amount now to a non-taxable gains. In your QuickBooks, we're going to put it as the other incomes, and we're going to put grant, so that the CPA, when they file your taxes, they can see exactly what that was for, and then they can allocate it correctly. So that I put it there so that you can see it on your profit and loss easier than on your balance sheet. Okay. So, and then if the full amount is not forgiven, then the remainder that is a loan will stay on your book as a loan. So if you have further question about this, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to go over that with you.
Should we be applying for forgiveness before our 8 weeks is up?
No.
Okay.
Because you want to go to the 8 weeks to know your expenses.
Right. Okay. But we can maybe get the application just so we'll know what we need to be gathering.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
So moving on, I know we have allotted 30 minutes for this meeting, so we're running absolutely late, but I would like to just invite you. I have asked Hala to do us a favor. Hala is the certified business coach with over 15 years of experience in sales, marketing, training, HR. She done it all, and she worked for Fortune 500 companies. What I love about her in the year and a half that we've been working together is that she is your best cheerleader, right? And your best boss too. All of us are small business owners. We don't have a boss, and face it, some of us need to have a boss, and Hala is the friendly boss that you can have that keep you on your path. She's knowledgeable, she's fun, and she's very committed to your success. And what I've asked Hala to do today is to just quickly give us like a checklist as we reopen our business, as we are re-entering, opening the economy. What are some of the things that we want to make sure that we check off to do, right? So Hala, I would like to thank you, Hala, for joining us. And let's see, Hala, let's see if I can, Hala, you can go ahead and share your presentation.
I will. Thank you so much, Lisa, for giving me the opportunity to speak in front of everybody. I would love to share with everyone that, you know, I call them the 19 essential things that you need to consider when you are planning your reopening, when you are shifting your strategies. So the 19 things probably won't apply to everybody, but at least you're gonna come out with at least 10 essential things that you need to consider when reopening, and how to market your business in this new normal. So first of all, you need to consider shifting your strategies. You need to consider making a plan to market. You need to double down on customer loyalty. And if you are still open, but if you are closed, you need to plan for your reopen. You need to plan on creating new offerings that are current, that are considerate of this current time. Which brings me to the second thing. Number 2, you need to focus on is shifting your messaging. Create a messaging that surrounding the change that you have, that reminds the public that you are open, that you are taking consideration of all the hygienes that you should do. Anything that might be a concern from the client's perspective, you need to put it in the forefront of your messaging. Number 3, I hope you have your pen and pencil, your paper and pens ready to speak super fast, to write super fast, because I'm speaking super fast at, when you listen to Audible at 1.5 speed. So I'm not gonna do that to you, but you need to, keep up, because I'm going over these quickly. So update your website. Now it's more than ever, we need to focus on our SEO, our search engine optimization. We need to have our accurate headers and footers. We need to add links to our social media. We need to make sure that our website is reflecting the current times. So if your business is type of business where people congregate and are together, make sure it reflects some social distancing. Make sure that there are new things. Be empathetic of the current situation. So update your website is number 3. Number 4 is going to be critical. Create more content. Content is king on every single platform. Post on social media, interview, host webinars, create checklists, create tips, become the subject matter expert in your field. Even if you are a hairdresser, if you are an accountant, if you are a coach, if you are a therapist, become the expert. Show content, even that you are an expert, but let people know that they can come to you for advice. So create tips, create white papers, and post as much content as possible. Number 5, start a blog or a vlog. Research have shown that businesses that post vlogs or blogs on their website generate 126% more leads for their businesses, because you are seen as a subject matter expert, because you are seen as a thought leader. Make sure your blog is not too long-winded, 500 to 1,000 words, and a vlog that explains a quick how to do something is gonna benefit your business tremendously. Number 6, implement videos. I don't care if you don't know how to do a video. We all have an amazing recorder on, in our hands. Just use it, just do it. Do interviews, record podcasts, bring people and have an open discussion about a certain topic, because again, this will put you as a thought leader. Number 7, use social media. I want you to think initially, where is your ideal client? So if your ideal client is on Facebook, I want you to focus more time on Facebook. If your ideal client is on LinkedIn, focus on LinkedIn. If your ideal client is more of a younger generation and the younger generation is on TikTok, I want you to start considering using TikTok, because you have to be where your clients can see you. If you are investing all your efforts in a social platform where your target market is not there, it's an effort spent and it's effort useless. So in California, the number 2 most used social platforms are definitely Instagram and Facebook, but see where your client base are. Like, I know my client base is more on LinkedIn, so I tend to focus all my time and effort, because 80% of the effort is coming from 20% of the platforms that I use. So number 8, leverage paid ads. Pay Facebook ads, pay for Facebook ads, because first, they are at an all-time low. They are the cheapest they have ever been. And you can select the criteria of who you want to have your Facebook ads be seen in front of. Number 9, build your database. Create, when I said create a checklist or tips or white paper, this is going to be your best platform to create a squeeze page or a lead magnet where you can say, okay, if you want this checklist, enter your details here and you can download it. This is an opportunity for you to collect as much data as possible. Number 10, once you collect all this data, what do you do with it? You use it for your email marketing and newsletter to cement the idea that you are the subject matter expert, that you know where you're talking about. And then, the old saying, out of sight, out of mind. So if you are trying to position yourself as the number 1 expert, you need to be at the forefront of your prospect's mind. Number 11, use landing pages instead of website. People now have shorter attention span. So instead of going to a website and finding different tabs and places to click and find out, use one single landing page where they get all the information, and they can place their order. So you just minimize the distraction and make sure you get all the information and they are ready to place their order. Start Google Ads.
Can I add to this? I know a lot
Yes,
of our
please.
clients here are esthetician. I would say the landing page would be where people can schedule an appointment with you. Have your packages. These are the places that they can schedule an appointment with you, because by the time they get to your site, they probably have seen your Instagram post and like you. So just, I visit a lot of you guys' website and I see that you don't have this landing page. It's something easy that you can create and just have it as your appointment books right there.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is the easiest way and most efficient way, and you get them then and there. If they went to that page, give them a call to action. Book now and use this. That's it. You don't need to, make it too complicated for them. So this is a great tip for everybody. Thanks, Lisa, for that. Number 12, start Google Ads. Google Ads, if you start paying on Google Ads, it will help organically improve the rating of your website on the SEO, on the search engine optimization. So if you just spend as little as $10 a day, or you can have $100 a month, this will help boost your website to become more locally visible, and then you will be there at the forefront of the website traffic, and you will increase your visibility. So, and always consider marketing as an investment, because if you pay $100 and then you get clients worth $1,000, this means that this is money well spent. This is a great return on investment. So never consider marketing as an expense. It is definitely an investment for your business. Now let's talk about, these are tactical marketing things. Now I want you to think about smaller picture. Now focusing on the reopening. The previous steps were big picture about messaging, about how to communicate, where to communicate. Now I want you to think reopening. We're gonna reopen anytime. Some businesses have started, some haven't, but let's think about who is our target market? What's our target audience? Give your A client special discount, special offers. Make a special offer for the first responders, for the nurses, for your existing clients. Make sure you make them feel special. I always joke around and say, every single person that we meet, I always look at them and I imagine, they have on their forehead, make me feel special. So how can we make our clients and customers feel special? Give them special offers. Make sure you appreciate their return to you. Number 14, this is a big one. Reopening announcement. I want you to build up the excitement for reopening. And this goes for everybody, especially if you have a brick and mortar store. Make sure that you do, why not, a ribbon cutting. Make sure you announce everything. Announce every product that you have. Announce every team member that you have. Build up the excitement so people can see how excited you are, and then they get excited to come back and see you. And now redo the celebration. Sure, why not? Do a ribbon cutting. Who said you're supposed to do only one-time ribbon cutting? Celebrate everything. Celebrate your customers. Invite them for a special party. Celebrate your community and make it memorable and newsworthy. And say thank you. Obviously to your customers who kept you afloat during this time. Say thank you to your suppliers, and make sure you thank your team. Give them handwritten notes and just say, we appreciate your business in the past and we are there for you for the future. Number 17, now let's get tactical. Rerun your numbers. This is when people like Lisa are critical for your business. You need to understand all this money that you're getting from the taxes and from the grants and the loans, they are allocated correctly. Make sure that you make the right decisions when it comes to your number. If you know a friend that is not using Lisa, tell them, are you a fool? Because you should be using Lisa to make sure. I've never seen anyone who's more dedicated to look after her clients than Lisa. Make sure you understand the government money is spent wisely. Make sure you still Don't spend like crazy, keep cash in hand, and be a little bit frugal in this time and allocate your expenses in the right places. Number 19, I want you to rewrite your plans. Understand that the past 90 days, we were just trying to survive. The upcoming 90 days are our plan to launch to the next level. So make sure we have a game plan. I always say, if we are, you know, a championship team, a soccer team, a football team, would we just go out and play if we have a big game coming up? We don't. We practice, we do scrimmage, we work together, and we plan and plan and plan and practice. And I want you to do the same thing, because reopening is going to be harder than closing. We're gonna have to do 10 times more effort, and we cannot afford to make mistakes. And that's why I encourage you to hire, and not only hire team members. I want you to consider hire 5 people, and listen carefully about who are those 5 people. These are going to be your board of directors. The board of directors should be the number one should be your cheerleader. Someone when the tough gets going, when it's tough times, someone's gonna keep you positive and motivate you.
That's
Number
me.
2, yay, Lisa!
I'm here for
Number
you.
2 is your mentor. Who's gonna teach you to become better at what you do? If you are a therapist, who's gonna teach you to become a better therapist? If you are an esthetician, who's gonna make you become better at your own trade? And hire a trusted advisor. Number 3, the trusted advisor is gonna give you, good feedback that is going to help you become better, see your blind spot. Hire a coach, someone to help you see the big vision. Number 4, I want you to hire a connector, someone who's gonna put you in front of the right people to ensure your success. And number 5, I want you to hire an advocate, someone who's gonna stick their neck out for you to ensure that you are doing a great job, and then you succeed no matter what. So these are your 5 people that you need to hire, your 5 board of directors.
Which one, the 5th one?
The advocate. So we have the cheerleader, the mentor, the coach, the connector, and the advocate. So these are my 19 tips for you. You might not need all 19. Focus on the ones that make sense for your business. And finally, to finish up, I want you to get with your coach and prepare a 90-day plan. If you don't currently have a coach, find one. I am offering 2 hours free coaching session for anyone who would like to take me up on your offer. List 5 ideas that you would like to implement immediately in your business, and do it. Because what's the point if we just write them down and don't take action? And finally, ask for help. Everybody needs help. Being a CEO and a president is the loneliest job on earth. So let's have, they say that it takes a village to raise a child. It also takes a village to make a successful company. So let's be the village for each other.
Yep. So Hala, could I ask to that? This the number 19 when Hala said hire these 5 people. What I like to add is a lot of us already have these 5 people, right? Hiring is just basically you just reaching out and say, you're going to do this for me, like help me with this. And that's the whole point of having these share and learn session that I'm going to continue to do. If you see benefits in that, is that we can be each other 5 people, right? You don't have to spend extra money. You just need to reach out to people and get that, and we can support each other that way. And then also, please consider Hala's offer. I mean, this is the time when it's so great to have someone you can bounce idea off of. You can always reach out to me, but she's more rounded, right? She look at all different area of your business and help you with that. So that's all I like to add. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Lisa, for clarifying. I didn't mean like hire as in put them on payroll. I mean surround yourself, because Jim Rohn once said, you are the average of the 5 people you hang out most with. So hang out with people who are going to elevate your game. So, finally, this is my email address. Take it down, reach out to me. I do offer a 17 weeks guarantee. So one-to-one return on investment within 17 weeks. Otherwise, your coaching is for free. So you can reach out to me or reach out to Lisa if you want to get hold of me, and I'm more than happy to go through an assessment for your business and you know, offer any kind of support that you might need at the moment. So thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you, Lisa, for giving me this opportunity to share a little bit about marketing in these tough time for marketing, to be honest, but you know, we're up for the challenge.
Thank you, Hala. Thank you, everyone,
Thank
for
you.
joining. Have a wonderful week. Bye.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.